keeps us in this pattern of believing we're never enough, that we're never doing enough, that we're never worthy. It's funny. So that my personal mentor about money said this thing, and I was like, super, super resonated with me. She was like, there is no chalkboard written in the sky that says Caitlin Roth cannot make more than this amount of money. There is no divine being going, you have too many purses. How dare you ask for another purse? When we were children, we were exposed to things like that. Like, you don't need 5 more pairs of Jordans. You don't need, I just paid the bills, you can have this later. Like, growing up, and I'm going to 100% raise my hand and say I have been guilty of this, especially when the children were younger, of speaking to them from the perspective that they could have what they needed, but what they wanted had to wait. Why do we teach our children these things? Why do we teach our children that their wants are not as important as their needs? Why would our wants be less important than our needs? Why do we entertain a societal standard that says we should, like, to the degree that a good portion of the population lives paycheck to paycheck? And I have the statistics written down somewhere, but I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's more than there is less. That is directly correlated to, that is birthed directly from this concept that you should have what you need, but not what you want. And this is how. Generally speaking, from an energetic perspective, most people will always have enough money for the things that they need. But it's not because they need this thing. It's because they believe that they need this thing. So because we have been programmed to believe that need is that's what we're going for. I could say I want a new Mac. Well, I just got this Mac. It's not even that old. Do I really need another Mac? Or do I just want another Mac? Who fucking cares? Like, why is there a distinction? There's a distinction because from a very young age, we were taught that we were allowed to have the things that we needed, and the things that we wanted, we had to work hard for. We had to wait for. And we are still regurgitating. This is like, goes back to the story I told you guys earlier, the platform I laid for this. And we're still regurgitating that as an adult. We're behaving like the universe, God, forces that be, are like, nope, Mr. Favors, it's too much wild salmon for you. Like, it's like, that's too luxurious. How dare you want this thing? Who do you think you are? It's all made up. It's all these invisible, intangible boundaries and limitations that we live within that I'm here to set on fire. I remember when I had that like whole epiphany around, why do I, from an energetic perspective, you always will achieve. So I did a tip on creating magic, a podcast, a YouTube video on the idea that you get what you think you deserve. So why do you think the majority of people are only making enough to get by? Because the energy of getting enough to get by is based on what they need. So what if we raised our collective expectation of what we got to have? That it wasn't about need. It got to be about what we want. Then could we change the collective consciousness and raise it around money? Would the standard, instead of being paycheck to paycheck, be more than enough money for all of my wants and all of my needs? What if we did that?